Could you tell us perhaps why in 2007 it's important to be having this discussion today?
Well, we were very fortunate to have a group of founders who had studied very hard forms of government, and when they came together in Philadelphia in 1787, they brought a lot of different positions to bear on these very complex questions. So I think it's important for us to know what they debated and how they came out the way they did.
And last night I noticed that Senator Warner said there's been threats to democracy in the past, and there's threats to democracy today. Do you have any opinion on what the threats are today to democracy in major ways around the world?
Well, I think the main thing today is to ensure that we maintain the kinds of liberties that the founders gave us when they established the Bill of Rights, for example, and make certain that even when we're under stress, we maintain real commitment to those ideals and to those values. For example, freedom of the press. I think it's essential that Americans continue to be able to express themselves no matter how unpopular their views may be. I think separation of state is another key issue that we should certainly maintain at this time when we see the results of theocracies around the world.
Are we doing a good job right now, do you think? Or?
I think we're doing a fair job. There are obviously problems in the way we're conducting ourselves now that we're in a long-term war, and I think that brings certain stresses and strains and puts pressures on some of these individual liberties, especially now with the kind of eavesdropping that is possible for the federal government to do with new technologies. I think we have to ensure that we maintain as much as we can of those freedoms.
And how do we get people interested in this subject as a university president? This must be something close to you.
Well, I would hope most people would be interested in these subjects because they concern all of us individually as well as collectively. And I think it's essential for Americans, for example, to go to the polls and vote. We've unfortunately been falling off in that domain now for several decades. I think it's important that we get young people involved early on because the issues are intrinsically interesting. They're not dull, after all. What we just finished discussing is among the most interesting things you can possibly think of.